So this is my front garden. This is going to be like a fruit forest. So I've been slowly getting rid of the trees that are not fruit bearing. That big one back there I'm going to leave because it's such a lovely big tree. I'm not going to touch that. But this is like the under canopy, if you will, of the garden. So like, you know, I've got some trees that are going to grow big, and then some shrubs that are going to be like the under canopy, and like some berries, and yeah, it's a slow process really, like just sort of doing it piecemeal. Some of the fruits that I planted out the back, I'm just relocating out here now that I've decided that there's a bit more sun in this area, and they'll probably do a bit better here. So yeah, the idea is obviously to not eat anything out of a packet. So we had thought about getting chooks, but the problem with that is the snakes. So there was a huge python in the backyard like a few months ago, and although pythons don't worry me so much because they're not venomous, they're still, you know, I don't want to encourage them, and I don't want to see a python swallowing up my little pet chook either. So yeah, it's a bit of a problem that. So, you know, we might have to still eat proteins from, you know, farm to plate or something, but all the rest of it I want to be out of the garden, everything else I'll consume. So yeah. So like, here's my feijoa tree. I've got a mangosteen tree here. That's just under the feijoa there's like just some Vietnamese mint, which I love, and it's going to grow crazy across the ground and be a nice ground covering, because that's what it tends to do. Over here is just a lemon verbena like herb plant, which is not looking too healthy because it's got a bit of transplant shock. A soursop tree, which is going to be massive. A locust tree, which I love those fruits, they're my favorite. A little blueberry bush, which I've saved from around the back, and a Panama berry tree. This is the big tree here that I'm not going to touch, and eventually I want to put like a tree house in it for my son, and I was going to anchor a zip line to this tree just to make it a bit of fun for my son here. So there's a fair bit of ground that can be planted out. I want to do something down that side, and yeah. Over here we've got a mango tree, a little cherry bush, and then a nectarine dwarf tree. That's a root I've got to cut out. That's a root I did cut out. And these trees here, I'd like to get rid of them because they're not fruit bearing, and put like maybe a shrub or something down here. And then down this side, like I've got like, that's a little strawberry plant which I rescued from out the back. It just wasn't in a big enough spot to be able to spread. So here it should be able to spread. There's some passion fruits that are going to grow up the fence. Another mango tree, it's a dwarf mango tree, and a miracle berry bush. So I'm actually just deliberating on whether I put more. I've got more strawberries out the back in like a planter box, which probably need to be in a larger sort of area so that they can spread a bit more. So I'm considering down here, although I don't know if it's really got enough sun in this position, and really you get a bit more dappled light over here. So I'm yet to decide where I put those. So yeah. Over here is just a macadamia nut tree, a dwarf macadamia nut tree, which would be quite nice. Yeah, just on the side. There's still some room here too for something. And along this aspect, as it gets a bit more sun, so I've got like a few stone fruit trees and some citrus, a cherry bush, nectarines, you know. And then as we come out, so I fixed this gate too. It's a bit how you're going, but anyway, it's fixed. So I'm trying to restore the grass down here, which is just with seed, and it's working all right. I've got passion fruit down this side, which I'm hoping will get enough light. I know it's not quite sunny enough, but there's just a few. I grew some vegetables from seed, not thinking that they would grow, and then they were all in a big clump in one bed. So I've relocated them here, and they seem to be doing all right here because they're cruciferous, vegetables, which do all right in the shade. It's another passion fruit and elderflower, which I'm going to relocate to out the front once I get rid of that big bird of paradise, and that blueberry bush is also going that's a native raspberry, and that's some other like indigenous fruit plant, which I don't know what it is. It'll be a surprise. Down here, more passion fruit. So I want just passion fruits to be growing all up the wall of the house because it needs to be covered up, and the fence. Here I accidentally spilt seeds in the garden bed for the lawn, so that's a bit of a mistake which I'm correcting. There's some kiwi fruit there, that's the male, and the female over there, they're in a bit of transplant shock. There's a kiwi berry that actually arrived looking pretty dead, and you never say dead in front of a plant, but it's not looking good. Down here's some more cruciferous vegetables and root vegetables which grow okay in the shade. And again, along this side too, more passion fruit. So we've got a tamarillo. I realise these are very close together, these trees, so they might need moving, but I was over enthusiastic. I can't remember what that is. That's a soursop too, so that might end up at the front. That's some sort of a guava berry, I think. We've got some berries here, which again I might end up relocating because I realise they're pretty close together. My idea was to grow them up the wall, so I wanted quite vigorous growing plants to sort of start to cover that. That's a custard apple. That's another mangosteen. It's an African mangosteen. And some more berries again. They're too close together, so I reckon what I might do is actually relocate one of those at the front. Yeah. Beans. This is where the vegetables start. It's a dwarf citrus. A lot of these are dwarf, so they shouldn't grow too big. Pawpaw tree, dwarf lychee. I've got a patch of tomatoes here. You know, like, look, I'm not an expert gardener. A lot of this is too close together, and I'll have to amend it. Feijoa and a blueberry, which gets quite a bit of sun there. Coffee tree, dwarf avocado. Yeah, that's a chocolate bean. I think that's going to be a massive tree. So it's going to be like a bit of a fruit forest out here too. So veggies over here, lettuces, zucchinis, beans are going to grow up that fence. This is where I started to grow the seeds. See, like I just dumped a whole heap of seeds, not thinking that they would grow because it's quite sandy soil. And look at it all, they're just all crowded out. So to relocate, we've got some eggplants going up the back there, beans, tomatoes. That's some chives, which again I might put some chives in the front because they're supposed to be good for ground covering of the forest. And then we've got some more like zucchinis. Oh my god, I've got some of these too that I've got to plant. Oh no, oops, remember that. Yeah, this garden bed I just repurposed. There's some herbs there, and then just some more of those seeds that I grew. I've got no idea what actual vegetable they are, but they're going to pop up and be a surprise. Potatoes, yeah. Then we've got along here some Asian greens, cauliflowers, broccoli, a herb bed, some more lettuce, yeah, some carrots, beans growing up the back, which is a bit hay going. I need to actually put some more trellis up there, some herbs, so some parsley. Actually, that under here is an asparagus plant, which I might put out the front again because that's supposed to be good for putting nitrogen into the ground for the bed of a food forest. Again, just so everything seems to be really thriving well, but I do concede that I've planted a few things too close together in my enthusiasm to just plant everything. These were rescue capsicums from Bunnings, and they're looking unhealthy because I haven't managed to bring them to life. I mean, don't say that, but I'm hoping they'll pick up, but I don't know, it's not looking good. Yeah, I don't know what I'll do with them. I might pull them out. Yeah, so that there I just planted yesterday. And then these are the strawberries, which I'm thinking I might relocate because they're just a bit crowded, and strawberries like to spread. I can't remember what these are. They could be radishes or some sort of lettuce. There's my only capsicum tree, which is thriving. I'm terrible at growing capsicum, probably because I tend to kill them with love by overwatering. These are cauliflower, which are going really well. Another herb bed. I've got herb boxes along the fence too. Tomatoes, which I haven't done so well here, and I've just adjusted the pH. It was a bit high because it's quite sandy soil, so hopefully they'll do a bit better. And I think, I don't know, I think I might have been over pruning them a little bit, because I've been just too eagerly pruning off the suckers. And in the corner here we had some spider problems, which I have fixed, and they seem to be looking a bit more healthy now. And yeah, some beetroot, onions, carrots, radishes, which are going mad. Yeah, lettuces, beans, there's a chili bush there, tomatoes, chard, silver beet, corn, which I'm super excited about. It looks like it's starting to come along. Beans, which I just haven't given enough room to grow. They're becoming a bit tangled, embarrassingly enough. But anyway, another chili bush down there. Yeah, some more cruciferous vegetables, either Brussels sprouts or I don't know what. But anyway, zucchinis, squash. We've got zucchinis growing already. I've harvested a few from there. And again, these are still suffering from the pH being too high. And yeah, some more beans. These are going great guns here, so they're about to meet the trellis. These beans. This is climbing spinach. Yeah. I'm quite worried. This is quite a big strawberry plant and it's doing so well. I hope I haven't killed it by taking it out. So I've just relocated the boysenberry from the side to here, so hopefully it'll do a lot better there. And there's a blueberry I've relocated there. The strawberries, of course, are there. And then that's the lemon verbonia, which, yeah, I put the blueberry in the spot that was, because I was just digging out there and it kind of like smelled like cat's piss a lot, and there was like some rocks underneath, and I want my blueberry to do well. I'm not so fussed about that one. Yeah, so that elderflower there, I want to relocate to around the front when I dig out the massive bird of paradise. I think it's about that berry one there. I want to relocate because it's too close to that one, and that one's thriving. It's sort of starting to do all right. That was the raspberry that was left behind. Yeah. Alright, so yeah. So like one of these trees I might relocate around the front just to see how it goes out there, and I might just get the in-between strawberry there and just leave 2 bushes there instead of the one. And the other thing that I was going to consider relocating was the chili trees from here to around the front, just because I just don't know, I think they might do better out there rather than in amongst all of this. So yeah, I've pulled out one strawberry, and as you can already see, there's already runners running into them, so it's a good thing to separate them. And it's nice, I got a little separate runner which I can put out. I hate digging these out because like I feel like I'm damaging them, but anyway, hopefully it'll survive. So I ended up putting the sick capsicums in the mugs here, and they're already looking a little bit healthier, I think, maybe. And then I put over here one of those berries, and I gotta get rid of that, that's really annoying me. Strawberries, chili. So yeah, that's looking a little bit better. Strawberries. So that's my garden. It's very much a work in progress. By no means an expert in all of this. I'm sure I've done many things wrong. But if you've got any suggestions for me, please drop a comment down in the comments. Yeah, I'm sure, as I say, I've made many errors in setting things up, but it's trial and error with me. And hey, as long as you're out in the fresh air, enjoying yourself, that's the main thing. And as long as you put the plants in with the green bits up, you're off to a good start.